So why is it that we have this urge to go back to nature? Why is it that we have this calling? Maybe when you were 5 and you were picking up a flower, your parents once told you, you're killing it, you know, it's alive. It's a live being. You know, at that point, frankly, I didn't understood it quite well, but the more that I interact with nature and the more that I interact with our environment, it is actually so full of life. And if you're like me, at least, maybe you feel that calling too. Today, I'm having the opportunity to have this deep contact with this amazing space full of trees, hearing the rain, and connecting back to myself at the same time. And the more that I expose myself into these situations, the more that I see that this deep calling is not just because nature can be beautiful. It's because we are part of this planet. We are part of everything that is moving around us. And if you like the scientific part, I know that I sometimes love to geek around our planet and nature, because why not? You know, like, we're in this floating rock very randomly, just surrounded by all of these different and magnificent beings. Like, why not explore it a little bit? So there's this thing called mycelium, that it's basically covering the whole planet, and it's a net of mushrooms. So I know that this may sound a little bit, you know, out there, but you're literally a mushroom. Everything is made up of mushrooms. So this mycelium network, what it does is that when, let's say, this space of land, right? When there's a tree that needs nutrients or that needs something in specific, through this network, all of the different trees in nature are able to listen to its necessities, and they're actually like speaking and passing nutrients and passing certain information through the ground. Now, we are, like I said, we are basically mushrooms. Everyone is mushroom and everything is mushroom. And I know that that makes no sense. Maybe you can go to ChatGPT to go into the insights of it, but this is not why we're making this video. The fact is that just as the trees, you have the capability to also connect and benefit from these connections. If you consciously know about these things, you can start to build a relationship that is significant. And for me, everything started to go on and just awakened and awaken and awaken and awaken when the pandemic hit. It was 2020, as some of you may know, of course, because some of you, if you're watching this video specifically, I don't think that you have maybe you're not 4 years old. Anyways, when the pandemic hit, I was in my last year of high school, and I was 17, and you cannot legally work when you're 17 here in Costa Rica. And when the pandemic hit, my school system didn't know how to quite adapt to that digital world, because I was in a very old-fashioned Catholic school, you know. So I truly alchemized that moment. I know, and I am conscious that that was a very tough moment for some people, because it took us back to being in commune with ourselves, to actually start to listen to ourselves and getting to know ourselves a little bit deeper. And now, for some, like I mentioned, maybe it was not the best experience. But getting to know myself for the first time and get a space to actually be with myself was one of the most heart-opening things out there. I have the privilege to live in a space that is full of nature, and I grew up here. but I never had a real connection with it. I never spent the time to get to know it as if it was another being. When the pandemic hit, I was not so interested in the topics that were told at school, so I kind of just said that I was present, turned down my computer volume, and went out to nature. I started to create art and I started to observe. And this just amazing sensation, just curiosity, this deep curiosity started to rise up. And suddenly I realized that I could notice which types of birds came in which seasons, which types of trees and the names, and just all of this information started to come through. And at the beginning I thought that it was just plain information, theoretical information. But then I started to realize that certain weird things will start to happen, like feathers will come out of the trees floating down to my knees. Different animals would come a little bit too close to me when I was feeling peace, when I was, just existing in nature. And I realized that I started to make a relationship. I started to have a relationship with this space. And I could see and I could learn directly from the trees. Now, in that last high school year, my biggest teacher was definitely the trees that I was hanging around with. And, this mycelium network, let's go back to it. This mycelium network that we are speaking about, it actually contains all of the information that has been landing on this planet. Everything that lands on the soil, it gets absorbed, and it is like if this mycelium network absorbs the information as well. So this nature is so alive. This planet is so alive and so full of information as well. And so this is just an invitation for you to take a step back from your mind and observe if you are able to open your heart and observe the different sensations that rise up when you're having this relationship. Maybe it can be with a houseplant, But what if you took your consciousness and bring it to presence? Some parts of our ego are parts of our personality and the parts that are existing in this physical plane. But they say that consciousness is our soul's work. So if you bring consciousness to these interactions and you not only know that you're being surrounded by live beings, but you actually open yourself up to feel them, maybe you will learn the secrets of the winds. Okay, that will be it for today, and we'll see each other very soon.